Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday, going from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and covering a wide range of topics. If you watch this show on the Fox 12 Oregon app, you know that's the case. But something a lot of people are discussing today is K-trucks. K-trucks, what are they? Well, they are Japanese-made vehicles that are quite popular worldwide and even popular here in some places in the United States, but currently illegal in the state of Oregon on the roads. I'll show you a picture here just to make sure everybody understands. Now, if you didn't know the term K-truck, you have probably seen what one of these looks like before, and that is what we are talking about. That's an example of one right there. So there's a new bill that has been introduced that would actually make them legal for use on the roads in Oregon. And currently some of the reasons they're not used is what's anyway claimed as safety and emission issues. So we're going to talk about that and learn a little bit more about K-trucks and about what perhaps an advocate would be saying for them. And that is why we're joined right now by Andy Lilienthal from JDM Oregon Advocates, also an automotive journalist. And Andy, thanks for being here with us today. I think for a lot of people who aren't familiar with the automotive industry as far as these Japanese vehicles, they may just be learning about K-trucks. So I think to start off, if you wouldn't mind, would you just give everyone maybe a definition of what a K-truck is?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So a K-truck is a vehicle that has been manufactured typically in Japan. They conform to a set of regulations that are in Japan that include size, weight, and then a maximum engine size of 660 cc's. And they can be imported into the United States as long as they're over 25 years old.
Gotcha. So the older ones are allowed to be imported in, but newer ones cannot be imported?
That's correct, yeah. The United States has a 25-year-old import rule. So in other words, if you don't have a vehicle that has been federalized and sold in the United States, it has to be at least 25 years of age to be brought into this country. And then there's a variety of regulations that go along with that, include some safety and emissions exemptions and that kind of thing. And
would this regulation then, or this change in this bill, remove that requirement?
So what it would do is, the kind of interesting thing about this is a federal law about 25-year cars coming into the United States that were never officially federalized. So states are handling the registration. The federal 25-year thing is truly a nationwide thing. So each state sets its own laws with regards to registration. So the vast majority of states already allow K-trucks to be used. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 states at last check allow K-trucks to be registered for road use. Oregon, you can only get like an ATV or OHV permit for them. They're not allowed on the streets. But this bill is something that is trying to rectify that.
And what are some of the reasons that Oregon does not allow them currently if all these other states do have them?
Well, it's what I think is some unfair and it's not unfair registration practices, things that don't create a level playing field for vehicle registration. So there are a variety of advocacy groups out there that have said that, oh, we don't believe K-trucks should be allowed to be registered in certain states. And Oregon is one of those states that is still held on to this belief that they're not safe and all that. But there are plenty of vehicles that are able to be registered on Oregon roads that are less safe than a K-truck.
Are there any kind of safety records or anything that would, even if some of these other ones are on the roads, that would lead one to believe that K-trucks could be unsafe compared to other vehicles?
Not that I'm aware of. The fact that they fall under the 25-year-old import rule makes them exempt from a whole host of things. But common sense shows that if a 125cc motorcycle can be legally registered in Oregon and driven on any road without any safety, except for a helmet, a K-truck or a K vehicle with 660 cc's and a fully enclosed cabin with roll-up windows, a windscreen, as well as a floorboard, is clearly a safer vehicle than a motorcycle. Also, I tend to look at antique vehicles. You can register a Model T in Oregon with wooden wheels, but you cannot register a Japanese K-truck.
That does seem a little odd. Well, Andy, being an advocate of these vehicles and a fan of them, what is it, do you think, that makes them so popular with so many people like yourself?
There's a whole host of benefits to K trucks. First of all, not everybody needs a big truck that can pull 10,000 pounds or thousands of pounds. Not everybody needs a very large vehicle to carry as much stuff. A lot of people just want something that's kind of small. They can run to their hardware store, they can run to the garden store and get what they need in a much smaller size than, say, a large four-door full-size pickup. So that's one reason, is the size is approachable. The cost is going to be far less. We're not looking at $40, $50, $70, $100,000 for a pickup truck. These things are often generally under $10,000, and that can help small businesses, farmers, ranchers, groundskeeping, and of course any other small business that might need to carry some cargo. And I think that they're also fuel efficient. Well, they are fuel efficient. So certainly more fuel efficient than a large pickup truck.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt if you were.
No, that's about it.
Is there any kind of domestic vehicle model that's comparable to something like this?
No, not even close. The smallest pickup trucks these days are still mid-sized, with the exception of things like some of the Ford models and like the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which are a body on frame. They're not they don't have the payload capacity as a K truck. So there's nothing even slightly like the Ford Maverick. There's nothing even close to a K truck.
Anything else that you think is important just for people to know about these as they're learning about them?
I think that a lot of people immediately see one with the cab over design and the small size and immediately think, oh, these are a death trap, and oh gosh, they're so unsafe. And anybody that looks at it that way isn't looking at the other vehicles that are road legal in Oregon. And again, I kind of go back to motorcycles. If a motorcycle can be legal, and you argue that K trucks aren't safe, it's not a level playing field. It's not common sense. Again, I also look at why is it that certain classic small cars, minis, and some of the other micro cars that are able to be registered in the United States, why are those able to be registered? And again, I default back to that Model T argument. I know people in Oregon to have them. 20 horsepower. Some of these classic microcars have 12 horsepower. And years ago, I got a response from the DMV telling me that those vehicles were designed for American roads and European highways. And I'm sorry, but some of these vehicles have 12 horsepower. They can't go 50 miles an hour. Many of the K trucks will do over 70 miles an hour, and that's the speed limit, the maximum speed limit in Oregon. Yeah.
That is interesting right there. Well, for everybody out there, can you tell us about JDM Oregon Advocates as well?
Yeah, JDM Oregon Advocates is advocating for a level playing field with regards to vehicle registration, much like I was previously talking about. So it's a group of people that is coming together, and we're trying to reach out to our representatives and let them know that we want a level playing field for vehicle registration in Oregon. We want to be able to use K trucks. We want businesses, farmers, ranchers, et cetera, to be able to use these vehicles on the road to get more done and to be able to help prosper at their business. The vast majority of them are going to be a business kind of thing. There will be some, of course, enthusiasts that are interested in them as well, but we're also not talking hundreds of thousands of vehicle registrations a year here, but they will help add tax base to Oregon. And I think that it's just a good idea. It's common sense. And I can't see any downside to letting K vehicles be driven on the streets of Oregon.
All right, Andy, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Is there a good way that people can follow along with what you're covering and, and even with the application that you have there for those?
Yes, JDMOregonAdvocates.com. There you'll find a document called A Case for Ks that talks about why they should be legalized, and also a very easy way to get a hold of your representatives in Oregon. My personal outlet is crankshaftculture.com that I've been reporting on this, and I'm sure you'll see more outlets statewide, if not nationwide, covering this.
Fantastic. Andy, thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And for everybody watching, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, but I want to say thank you for joining us here on Fox 12 Now. Today, we've covered a wide range of topics throughout the day, but certainly appreciate having guests like Andy to talk about K-Trucks and educate everybody about that a little bit more. Hopefully, you've learned some. You can go to our Fox 12 Oregon app and take a look at all the different segments that we covered today. Our 4 p.m. news is coming right up, so if you're watching live right now, you've got just a few minutes. So we'll sign off for now and let the 4 p.m. news take you over, and they'll keep you up to date with everything else that is going on. And there's a lot, so they'll have that all for you right then. And of course, you can go to kptv.com as well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Greg Nibbler. I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Fox 12 Now.